Also new tonight, newly appointed Kansas Supreme Court Chief Justice Eric Rosen asking the legislature to adopt measure to combat the shortage of attorneys in rural Kansas. Fact Finder has covered the story from the beginning, finding nearly 80% of all active lawyers live in just 5 counties. In his speech, he urges the legislature to adopt a bill that would provide financial assistance to both lawyers and also law students in those rural areas.
I want to be clear about the challenges that lie ahead if we don't act. Addressing the court system will be more difficult for Kansas businesses and Kansans seeking remedies in criminal and civil matters.
Fact Finder investigator Dylan Domingue previously dug into the limited access to the justice system and what public universities are doing to try and fix this. You can find that investigation on our 12 News app and also our 12 News website.